Before I get started, I made a second channel called Beelz Bits. I'll have it linked in the description down below. This is where I upload silly, mostly stupid, hopefully entertaining for you at least, conversations that I've had with my Twitch chat about random topics like Final Fantasy and Australian animals. And what sound does a koala make? Those are the two videos that are up on the channel right now. They're short and they're fun. Hopefully you'll like them. Please head over and check out those videos and maybe subscribe to the channel because I want it to grow and be worth my while and be good for uploading more for you. So please go check that out. Links down below. New channel. Go look. Fun. Yay. Also subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Please. Thank you. Love you. 2024 has been a year, and just like with every other year, I played games, and so I'm going to list off all of the ones that I played this year and kind of give my 2 cents on what I think about them. Spoiler alert, I liked pretty much all of them, and forgive me if I sound tired. It's been a very long night and a very early morning. I took my dog to the vet to get, surgery done for a tooth that was infected. So like the video if you like dogs, alright? Give a like on the video if you like my puppy. She's very cool, very sweet, and she's getting her tooth fixed. Quick, disclaimer, I'm more or less removing a lot of the demos that I played this year because I kind of want to stick to games that have more completion to them, or at least the ability to play more of them. There will be some early access in here, maybe some that I'm taking out on purpose because the full release isn't too far away, but if you're wondering where the demos are, I'm not putting those in, although we did play a lot of demos this year, Next Fest and all that kind of stuff. A lot of games. Anyway, let's get to it. First up, BlazBlue Entropy Effect. Can you believe it? It was like a year ago we started playing this. Very fun game. Very, very cool game. If you haven't played it, go give it a whirl. It's a fantastic action roguelite. We had a lot of fun with this. Death Must Die. This one actually got me kind of interested in the bullet hell survivors genre again, which I'm not a big fan of to begin with because they kind of just bore me a little bit. It's just not for me. But this one was good enough to, hold my interest for a couple of videos. It was very good. Granblue Fantasy vs. Rising. I made one video for this, but I played it mostly off stream, off camera. I'm a fighting game guy. I like fighting games. And the first Granblue Fantasy release was not great. It was at the, the start of COVID. It didn't do too well, and the re-release is a lot better. Very good, like it. Power World. Power World kind of blew the hell up, right? Power World did very well. Currently stuck in a legal dispute, I understand, but thankfully it doesn't look like it's going anywhere. I had this game on my wish list on Steam for like 2.5 years, dude. So when this thing finally came out and it did so well, I was very happy. The Power World videos were a lot of fun to make as well. If you haven't seen the Power World videos and you have even a remote interest in the game, go check those out. I put a bit of time into those. It's a lot of fun to make. Oblivion Override was a sleeper hit on the channel. A lot of people really like this game, me included. It was a lot of fun to play. I believe they're still doing updates for it even today. We'll have to go back and take a look at it at some point in the future, but very, very cool game. If you didn't see any of those, please go see those videos. They were also a lot of fun to make and very fun game. Tekken 8. So I think I made one video for Tekken 8. I didn't want to give it, the full treatment that I've done in the past. I think it was mostly the 2 mirror match Yoshi thing that I released. I'm a big, fan of Tekken. Never good at it. I suck at Tekken. Tekken's one of the hardest fighting games to play, at least in my opinion, for me. But I've been getting the itch. I want to go back in and learn another character. I'm thinking Law. The Wata, the Bruce Lee is kind of calling to me. Land Beneath Us. So this one's an interesting one. It's a grid-based rogue where you're kind of taking turns at the same time as your enemy. It's very close to being real-time, but not quite. It gives a lot of freedom for strategy. I put a video out where I speed ran even, and it was a lot of fun to do. Tiny Rogues was very fun to play, liked the game, but it just didn't hit on the channel. I did like 2 videos for it. Neither one did especially well, despite the fact that there was a very vocal minority who really liked it. I couldn't keep going with it, but it is a fun game. I recommend it if it's your thing. Into the Necrovale, kind of scratched my ARPG itch for a little bit. Once in a while, I kind of want to go back into like a Diablo-style-esque ARPG dungeon crawler with all the looting and all that kind of stuff. Before this, it was Slawmancer, and Into the Necrovale did exactly what I wanted to. Very fun game. Check that one out. Slay the Minotaur is a solo dev game and was one of the more interesting and very different games that I played this year, which I'm a big fan of. I like it when a game is just kind of odd, and Slay the Minotaur had that vibe all about it, and it definitely sucked more time out of me than I expected it to, because I kind of got low-key addicted to trying to map out the dungeon, or the labyrinth rather, and figure out where to go to get the best results and to find like Aphrodite and all that kind of stuff. She was very fun for clickbaiting. Very fun game, but very different and weird, but that's not a bad thing, that's a good thing. Spiritfall was very anticipated, and technically I'm cheating because I think we touched Spiritfall last year, but that was like early demo stuff of the game. This is like Spiritfall's proper like release year, so I'm gonna put this in and kind of cheat a little bit, but Spiritfall was a ton of fun. Highly recommend if you have any inclination towards roguelites and or Smash Bros or platform fighters. Very, very cool. Spell Disc, one of the more complicated rogues I've touched before. The scale of depth that this game has is ludicrous. Very, very cool. Moving straight on to Voin. I am still actively playing this right now. No spoilers, but you'll see some more Voin coming up very soon. But Voin is one of those I want to just do one more run kind of games where I get very sucked into the gameplay loop, and I don't want to stop. I just want to keep going. Very fun game, very cool to get into. I want to see more. I'm looking forward to what the dev does with this one. Deep Rock Galactic Survivor. This is the game that got me interested in Bullet Heavens or Survivor-style games again, and the way that they did it was by completely skipping out on every other convention that this franchise, well, this genre, I should say, have been doing, and instead you're a dwarf mining for resources while avoiding enemies. It's just such a good idea. I want more of these games to kind of break the mold and do what Deep Rock Galactic Survivor has done. To try and hopefully rope me into playing more of these games, because I don't think the genre is inherently bad. It just kind of bores me. So any of them that do this, you know, it's a thumbs up in my book. Goblin Stone. I had Goblin Stone in my wish list for like 2-3 years, and when it came out, it was not received very well. It's got a lot of, even to this day, mixed reviews. It's like 8 months ago that I played this. I'm not sure how much the devs have kind of, you know, polished things off. Maybe it's in a good state now, I don't know. But at the time I played it, it was suffering from some issues, let's just say. I covered that mostly in my video, but I hope it got better. Maniac. Some of the most fun isometric car rampage nonsense. It channels absolute peak early days GTA nonsense with like a bit of Taxi Driver, a bit of GTA in this rogue running people over marathon. It's like, it's the perfect game that should have been made back in the 2000s, and I'm so glad that it's here now because it gets to tap into all of that nostalgia, but also just be a good time. Overrider. This is a special one because I got very much in touch with the team behind Overrider, and I don't know if the game is still on its way. They ran into issues with funding and with finishing the game and producing the game. I really hope that they do get to continue making it and eventually get to release it. I still have this on my PC. I have not uninstalled it, not even since I first did the video for it, just so that if it never does come out, I get to play it forever because I'm special and you're jealous. But I wish the team good luck in their endeavors, and hope that this does eventually come to fruition where everyone else gets to play it as well. Anomaly Collapse. Had a bit of fun with this one. This is one of those situations where I wanted to dive much deeper into this game, and I think if I'd played this on stream, I would have, but time got the better of me. I played this more off camera, setting up to do more videos for it, and then everything got ahead of me, and I just didn't have the time to dedicate to getting more things done with like unlocking more characters and getting more runs underway. The runs to begin with were a little bit on the lengthy side of things, not as bad as like Darkest Dungeon, but consolidating it all was a bit of a task, and so I think this would have been like a good stream title. I might go back and check it out some more though. I did have fun with this. Shadow of the Depth. So this was an unexpectedly nice one. I understand that this was a mobile game, or at least there's a version of this game that was a mobile game, and this new one that they've made is like a proper to scale like PC mobile release where it's you know, a much bigger and better game than what the original version was. But the problem I had with this was that I found like one character that I really liked, and none of the other ones really vibed that well with me, and I had a hard time conceiving of what I would do because I only liked one character and I can't keep making videos on one character. Hades 2. Technically early access release, technically cheating a little bit maybe, but I don't care, it's Hades 2. We're all just gonna consider that Hades 2 came out. I have a love-hate relationship with this franchise, as some of you might know. I love the aesthetic, I love the art, I love the direction that the game goes in. I don't love that, for me, the combat gets a bit dry after a while. There's just not enough variety in the moment-to-moment action. Once you pick a weapon and a playstyle, you just kind of go. Like, the dataless hammers are the only real thing that change how I play with each weapon, so I kind of know what I'm going to do from the moment I start a run to the moment I'm going to end the run. And because of that, I kind of, like, get bored with Hades a bit easier than most other games in the action roguelite genre. Nevertheless, though, Hades 2, phenomenal game, and when this thing eventually comes into its 1.0 release, it's going to blow up the same way that the first game did, and just get even bigger than what it already is. Dragon is Dead is one of the lesser of the games that I've played this year. I forgot that this existed until I found it in my list of games. I'm probably going to miss a few, by the way. If there are just sincerely games that I haven't got in this list, I apologize. But yeah, Dragon is Dead is a video game, I think, kinda. Subnautica. So the Subnautica video was my biggest success this year in terms of YouTube videos, and that came kind of out of nowhere. I'm thalassophobic. For those who haven't seen it, I'm pretty sure everyone on my channel has probably seen it by now, but I'm thalassophobic. I'm afraid of the ocean, big scaredy pants. It was more or less a dare to play this. Jed backed it up and said that I had to do it because, you know, chat on Twitch wanted me to play this. And it ended up just coming together so well as a video that everyone seems to love it, and they're all clamoring to ask me to play the follow-up game, Below Zero. They're asking if I'm going to play the second game. I've already got people saying that they want to play the second one with me because there's a co-op feature that they're bringing into the second game, and I'm already fearful, dude. I'm going to do it I'm going to do my best to not do that. I'm going to do my best to get out of this, but I know I'm not going to be able to, so we'll see what the future holds. But I had a ton of fun with Subnautica, despite the fact that I was literally some of the most fear I've ever had in my life during the making of that video and the making of those streams. Especially the Aurora, fuck that. Ants took my eyeball. I forgot I played this. I picked this up, I played it, I made one video for it, and I literally forgot I even had this and played it. I may have to go back and take another look at it. I don't recall not liking it though, I recall having fun with it. I just don't really remember anything about it. I think it was a little bit of a hazy period there, I don't know. I might have been tired when I made that video as well. Elden Ring, the DLC, so I'm gonna mix a little bit of the stream stuff in here that you guys may not have seen on the main channel. But having said that, Elden Ring did get a main channel video, the DLC at least. So the DLC, phenomenal, absolutely loved it. I'm a big Souls-like fan, as you can probably tell by some of the games on this list. This was, bar none, one of the best game things released this year. I know there's a bit of controversy surrounding whether or not we want to consider this DLC something that Game of the Year could even be given to, because is it a game, is it DLC, blah 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 blah. I don't care necessarily. I think Game Awards is just an excuse to show off game trailers. It's just E3 with a lot of patting on the back happening at the same time. I don't care. So for me, this is just a really fun time. I had a great experience with Elden Ring's DLC. What's next? Fear and Hunger. So no one was asking for this, but I'm glad that I did it, because those who didn't ask for it, who did like it, told me that they liked it a lot. And I had a great time. I'm still kind of waiting and debating on if I'm going to do the second game or not. I understand that it's getting a big quality of life update at some point that's going to kind of rearrange things and fix things up, and it's kind of worth my while to wait. We'll see. But for the first game, really liked it. Really enjoyed it. I think I went back and got like 2 more endings or 3 endings. I didn't get them all, but I had a good time. Nano Apostle, a really good boss rush type game if you're someone who doesn't like, you know, all the long-winded grind and the leveling and all that kind of stuff. You just want to get in there and fight some cool boss fights. Get in there and play some Nano Apostle. They've got really cool designs and cool combat mechanics where each boss fight is quite dramatically different from each other. Very cool. Witchfire. I think I'm cheating again with this because I technically played Witchfire last year, but it's more or less come out this year. Like, I'm gonna cheat and say that it's out this year. So Witchfire is another one of those cases, a bit like Void and a bit like some of the others, where it's actually just sucked me in and I've been lost for hours just off stream, off camera, just grinding away, shooting dudes, doing run after run after run, grinding up my levels and maximizing all of the equipment and gear that I can get. It's just one of those games where I want to finish it and get completion in it and get all of the things upgraded, get all the things done. Had a great time, looking forward to more content coming out for it. Every time that they release new stuff, I hold back and I think I'm gonna wait until there's more so I can really sink my teeth into something meaty, and then I get hooked for like a month, just stuck playing this game. Wizard of Legend 2. Complete opposite. So Wizard of Legend 2 is not a bad game. However, considering that it's standing in the shadow of Wizard of Legend 1, which I still think is one of the best rogues you can play, especially in the action rogue space. I don't know what you want to call it. Wizard of Legend 2 just kind of doesn't feel like it's doing anything. It doesn't feel like it's doing enough. It feels very generic, which is really mean to say, but after putting more and more and more and more time into the game, I played this a lot more off camera than you guys know. I unlocked like every spell, every outfit for the most part, I think. I definitely unlocked all of the actual gameplay mechanical wise stuff. So all of the major upgrades and unlockables were all unlocked, and I couldn't bring myself to do any more for the game because there's just nothing else to talk about or do. It's not there yet, and I hope that they really do add more to it. The personality they're trying to give it feels very forced and ham-fisted. It doesn't feel genuine. This feels like industry plant the video game, which is really weird. Like, they're painting by numbers, not by passion. It's odd. I can't really describe it any better than that. Dun Jungle, however, is the opposite of Wizard of Legend 2. This feels like it's all passion. This game was a lot of fun. I need to go back and do some more for it. I think I did like 2 videos and then very quickly went down a rabbit hole where I got distracted. I was doing a bunch of sponsorships around that time and I just didn't go back to it. I need to, though. This was a ton of fun as a game. TCG Card Shop Simulator. This came out of nowhere. None of you expected that, right? My big dick? You all love watching me play around with my big dick. TCG Card Shop Sim was a lot of fun to make. However, after one video, the game very quickly devolves into just being a management simulator, where as soon as you get enough employees to start automating the process of handling the cash register and supplying shelves, you're not really doing anything anymore. You're more or less just managing stock and then opening card packs. So I couldn't really follow up with anything more for it, but for what it is, I did sink a lot of hours into it. I think I got to like level 70 or something with my shop and got a lot of stuff, and just, yeah, I really went hard on that for a little bit there. For like a solid 2 weeks. Squirrel with a gun. It's a bit of a meme, but it's a fun meme, to be honest. It was like, this is just going to be like a goat simulator situation. It's going to be absurd, and it is absurd, but it's a ton of fun. I couldn't help myself but make at least one video for it. For a lot of these games that come from stream, I highly recommend checking out the VOD channel, also linked below. And the thumbnails or the titles kind of give away what all these are. A lot of these games that I've played, you might get like a taste of on the main channel if I don't think they're worth doing full series for. But definitely check out Squirrel with a Gun if you haven't, if you just want to have some like easy to get into and just easy fun, just sandbox type shit. It's just a good time, man. Definitely surprised me. I thought it wouldn't be anywhere close to as good as that, but they somehow managed to make Squirrel with a Gun very, very good. Windblown. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that Windblown might be one of my top favorite rogues, like action rogues that released this year. There's like a short list of the ones that I really liked, like that kind of stood out to me as being a little bit better than your average action rogue. So the big thing that might upset some people, or maybe not a surprise to some others, is when I was asked about it, I said that I preferred Windblown to Hades 2. Purely from a mechanical standpoint, and this comes from my dislike of the fact that Hades 2 kind of locks you into a playstyle, and Windblown actively encourages you to swap playstyles as you play because your weapons are going to be out-leveled, and you need to upgrade and change them as you go. So your gadgets, your weapons, right down to the very buffs that you get, especially in co-op where you can share your buffs with each other. It's like, I'm going to drop this buff for you. Do you want this one? Your perks, and you can share and mix and match and make different builds involving goo or burning or this or that, and then 2 biomes later you've completely changed your build because you got different stuff. I love that. That's what rogues are to me. Rogues are uncertainty, RNG, and just random bullshit go. Hades plays a little bit too safe for me, in terms of you pick a build and it's just going to be that from start to finish. So for me, Windblown was like the stellar winner this year for a new release. Had a ton of fun with it. Ammo and Oxygen, bar none one of the hardest rogues I've played this year. This is brutal. It's punishing. It's kind of like, it's just hard, dude. I have still not beaten a run on this. The video that I made where I got through the first like major biome area is still the best I've ever done in this. I do recommend it for all of you hardcore guys out there who want a really challenging experience with a lot of learning curve to it, but this kicked my ass. Spider Queen Cave. This was just meant to be a stream game, and it turned into a video because people said this would make for a really good like compilation video. If you liked it, I'm glad that you did. I didn't hate this game, surprisingly enough. I had a lot of fun with Spider Queen Cave. This is exactly the kind of cursed and stupid that entertains me and keeps me engaged with just how random and off the wall it is. We had an entire stream dedicated to like 7 games of this nature, like dollar store, you know, Steam dumpster style games, and we had a ton of fun with that stream. I think it was last year or the year before. It might have been 2 years ago now. It's been a while. But Spider Queen Cave definitely, you know, exudes that kind of energy, and I'm here for it. I had a great time. Magicraft, spiritual successor to Noida, maybe, in a weird sense. It's kind of like Isaac meets Noida, and it does it in a way that's more accessible because Noida's wand-making is very, very, very not hand-holdy and very tough to get used to and punishing if you don't know what you're doing. So as a game, it's very brutal. Magicraft is still hard, but doesn't punish you that badly. It kind of eases you into it a little bit better, I would say. Not as hard, but can be pretty damn hard when you get to the higher difficulties. It starts to turn up that Noida Isaac, you know, brutality a little bit. And very fun game. Very, very cool game. Nightfall Comes. Fuck you! This is probably the worst game of the year that I played. I'm not gonna be too apologetic for it. It isn't a game that's fun. It's repetition maximized to a degree that I can't fathom. I can't fathom how you can play through a full run of this game, come to the end, and then conclude, yes, this was fun and good and a great idea. We need to ship this. Send it. This is done. No, it's not. No, it's not. This not poopy. Lake of Creatures. Had a ton of fun with this. I want to do more videos for it, but I just haven't had the I've been bouncing back and forth with other sponsored videos and other big responsibility type videos, but Lake of Creatures, ton of fun. I want to get back into it. Seemed really good. Balatro. I know I'm late to the wagon. It's later on the list here because I only played it recently. I get it. I understand. I, funny enough, have not become like hardcore addicted to it the way that everyone kind of memes that you're meant to, you know, happen to you, but nevertheless, stupidly, insanely fun game. In fact, I'm trying to find it in my Steam list. I have 17 hours played as of right now. So based on when this video releases and when my first video was made, you can see that I'm not exactly like, you know, I'm not clawing my veins out looking to get my Balatro fix. However, I do understand the hype, and I do think this is a phenomenal game. And if it does win Game of the Year, I'm not even gonna be surprised. Personally, I think that other games are probably gonna win just by, you know, their pedigree alone, maybe. But if Balatro did win, I'd stand there and go, yep, that makes sense. Guidus Zero, very, very recent game that we played on the streams, on the YouTube channel, rather. Very fun. Looking forward to how this game progresses. I've kind of exhausted what you can do in the game right now, for the most part, and I don't want to overstay my welcome and burn myself out. I'm just curious to see where this goes into the future, but as far as what it is as an idea, very, very cool. Now, this is the stream games section, so there were a lot of games that I played on stream that didn't make their way to the main YouTube channel, and for those of you who don't really watch the streams or the VOD channel, some of these are going to be out of the blue. Dragon's Dogma 1. We played exactly like 2 days of the first Dragon's Dogma to get ready for Dragon's Dogma 2, which I also played all of and had a great time with. So Dragon's Dogma 1, I can't share too much of an opinion on besides the fact that the 2 days I played of it were fun, had a good time. Dragon's Dogma 2 was something I didn't expect to like as much as I did because I didn't have the familiarity with the first game, so I didn't go in there with a lot of like nostalgia or a lot of, you know, familiarity with the franchise, but I really enjoyed that game, dude, and I feel like maybe the fact that it came out really early in the year has caused people to forget of its existence and maybe like not consider it as being one of the better games that came out. Maybe you don't think it's one of the better games that came out. Maybe you goddamn hated this game, but I didn't. I really enjoyed it. I had a great time. My pawn was called Pepper, and we loved Pepper, and we looked after her the entire time. Pepper was a phenomenal, awesome. Pepper's the best. No Rest for the Wicked. So this one is technically an early access release where the game's not finished yet, and we played as much of it as we could, and then once again, both on stream, off stream, I did a lot of grinding on this to power myself up. I got to the point where I was super duper dummy uber powerful in it. It's kind of like a Souls-like meets an ARPG, like Diablo Dungeon Looter kind of thing, but with like an evolving, persistent world with NPC interactions and all sorts of fun things. It's a very cool game. Made by the Ori and the Blind Forest guys, so it's their first foray into like a proper action game, and I think they're doing pretty good. I'm curious to see how this evolves and advances as the game further comes along. Another Crab's Treasure. Had a lot of fun with this. I wasn't sure if it would kind of maintain course all the way to the end. It kind of slowed down a little bit towards the end, but considering it's still a fairly short game, it didn't really, like, you know, it didn't drag for long, but I feel like there was a section or two there where it kind of felt a little bit draggy. Once you get used to the combat, it's not a hard game. It's kind of like, people described it as baby's first Souls-like, and it's a very easy Souls-like to get into. I would agree, but I don't think it's really even fair to say it's like a Souls-like proper. It's borrowing inspiration, clearly, but it's just a fun action game, if you ask me. Animal Well. So yes, I played Funny Donkey Game. I had a lot of fun with it. Animal Well was great. I did do the casual peasant thing, though, where I beat the main game, and then we immediately moved on. I finished. I didn't want to spend the next, like, 50 hours looking stuff up on Reddits and Discord servers to get all the super secret, you know, hyper niche, you have to wink wink nudge nudge, you know the secret handshake. There's a ton of extra content for Animal Well that you have to get into that's effectively a community driven thing, because the puzzles in that end section are like impossible to solve as one person. It has to be a community event. I didn't stick around for all that stuff. I finished the main game, I loved it, I had a good time. I moved on because I didn't want to rip my hair out trying to solve puzzles that were literally impossible solo. After that, Nioh 1. So we actually went on again, off again with Nioh 1, but we finally got to get around to it and stick to it. Nioh 1's a great time. By this point, I know it's a bit of a dumb thing to say, but yeah, clearly this isn't just games that came out in 2024. These are just the games that I played this year. And we really enjoyed Nioh 1. This whole end section here is like Souls-like the streams, basically. Because right after Nioh 1, we played Lords of the Fallen, the one from last year, the new one. Which is a fine game. I don't think it's like blowing my hair back and you know, rubbing my balls in a way that makes me feel like a special lad, but it was, you know, competent. It's good, and they're working on a sequel game apparently already. They're like still updating the game to this day. I think like a week ago they put out a new update for it, so they're still looking after it. They're working on a new one, and considering where that franchise began 10 years ago as one of the worst games of the year when it came out, and one of the worst Souls-likes in general, leaps and bounds better from that point in time. They've done a good job in trying to revitalize this, and I'm happy for them. Wukong, Black Myth Wukong, is a weird one for me to talk about because I really liked that game, and personally, because I never played Final Fantasy Rebirth or the remakes yet, I want to in the future, but because I haven't played the new Final Fantasies, my best vote for Game of the Year goes to Wukong, purely because I haven't played the others. Like, I haven't played Final Fantasy, I don't have a PS5, so I haven't played Astrobot. I have played Balatro, but I'm biased. I'd probably still say Wukong. Even though I get it, probably the other ones deserve it more. I don't know. It's just my vote. But I really enjoyed Wukong. I liked getting into the lore of the mythology of it. It's a story that I've known very surface level, and chat were very good in kind of walking me through a lot of the Journey to the West story parts that I wasn't aware of, like the more deep intrinsic things that don't really get adapted as much outside of China and parts of Asia. It was really fun for me. I really liked it. There is a video that has been in the works, one of those like Elden Ring, Subnautica, Fear and Hunger style all-in-one gameplay videos that I've been working on for a while now, but I got sick in the middle of getting it all ready. I've got my thumbnail already made by the awesome Smo. I just have to like cut out a week to sit there and grind on that video and finish it. But I played this back when it came out. Like, we are months late for releasing this video, so hopefully I'll get around to fixing that up and getting it out soon, but I had a good time with this. Afterwards of all of these things, I think I got sick again, like that's when I was editing, and it's taken us a while, but we eventually got around to Nioh 2. We've been on a Team Ninja kick lately. Nioh 2, ton of fun, and we went from that straight into Wo Long, which I'm actively playing right now upon recording this. And then after Wo Long, which I'm gonna continue because we're not even done with the year yet, Wo Long's gonna finish, and sometime this week, I'm gonna probably help, like, maybe, hopefully check out the Marvel Rivals game that just came out. I've never played Overwatch. The closest thing to a hero shooter I've ever played is TF2 back in like 2009, way back in the early days, the Orange Box days. Doesn't count, I know, but what I'm saying is... Oh no, I played Paladins. I played the Paladins game for like 10 hours once. I like the Fernando guy. He had a flamethrower. That was cool. Anyway, I might check that out. I want to play Adam Warlock. He seems like a fun support character. I'll probably play him for like an hour, get really like just not happy with it, and then decide to play someone else. But yeah, I might check that out as well. We were going to play 9 Souls after we finish with the main stuff on Twitch right now. I understand that's a Metroidvania that a lot of people have been recommending and suggesting is one of the best ones that came out recently. We're going to play that. That might carry us over into January, but I'm going to mention it now anyway and just say that yippee, we're going to hopefully play that, as well as a ton of other playtests and demos this year. It's been a pretty wild year for the different games that have come out. I've had a great time. I hope you guys have had a great time with the games that came out this time around. Once again, please go check out channel number 2. I've recently started that up, and I'm going to try and get, you know, new content out over there every time that there's something worthwhile. I'm going to try and not make it too spicy, because we sometimes do get into conversations on the Twitch side of things that are a little bit polarizing, I want to say, in like maybe a negative way, where people are going to actually fight in the comments, like proper like bloodshed. I want it to mostly be like dumb opinion stuff. If you watch the Final Fantasy one, you'll understand what I mean, where it's just dumb gamer opinions being sent back and forth. I don't want it to get like, you know, scary, like hyper political and stuff like that. I don't want it to get like that. It's just dumb shit that we talk about, like game stuff and you know, pop culture shit maybe sometimes. Check that out. Give it a sub if you like what you see. Give it a follow and all that kind of crap. And this channel as well. Like and subscribe. I never tell you guys to like and subscribe. I think my resolution for 2025 is going to be that I'm going to start like begging, mostly as a meme, because I never do that. And because I never do that, it feels weird. I'm going to shill. If all of you guys that weren't subbed were subbed right now, we'd be over 100k. I got hacked yesterday, by the way. My emails both got hacked. Jed paid for a solitaire subscription for Microsoft, and somehow her email got hacked, and they stole my email addresses. I got them back, but I almost lost most of my work that way, because they could have accessed my Google accounts and taken my YouTube from me. So while I'm here, this might be like my big end of the year. It's not really, but I'm going to make it into this and say thank you for all the support for this year. If you were on the YouTube side of things, the Twitch side of things, both, either way, let me know what your lists are down below. You can list them all out. You can just say what you liked, what you didn't like, all that jazz. Whatever, you know the deal by now. Share thoughts down below. But with all of that said and done, I've got to get out of here. Hope you guys have enjoyed 2024 and all the fun games we've had, and I will see you all again next year. I don't know why I'm framing it like this. I'm gonna make more videos this year before it's over. This feels weird now. Anyway, love you. Have a good one. I'll see you next time. Bye.